Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mantra After Hours podcast. I am your host, Praleen Singh Sitlamo, the founder and managing director of Mantra Publicity. And today we are talking about something that has completely transformed the marketing industry in the recent years, and that is the creator economy. Everybody wants to become a creator. Everyone wants to build a personal brand. And social media has created opportunities we've never seen before. But what does it actually take to succeed online today? This is the question creators ask us on a daily basis. And I'm not even joking when I tell you that. How do creators stand out in oversaturated spaces? How do you grow without losing authenticity? And how do you turn influence into longevity? That's exactly what we're unpacking today. So the creator space has changed, okay? I think one of the biggest misconceptions people have is that content creation is easy. And believe me, being in content creation, owning a content creation agency, it is one of the most difficult things you can do. Not only is it just concept and strategy, but execution is far more difficult. And also, because we are so creatively diverse, we will never ever deliver exactly what the other person anticipates they want, right? Especially if you are doing content for brands, which is what agencies and creators do, okay? One of the questions that we got on the creator economy, and sorry if I haven't already introduced this episode is going to be a Q&A, just like episode 1 was. We've received a lot of questions since we launched season 1, and I thought it would be a really great intro to season 2 to start answering your questions. Okay, so one of the questions that we got was, what does people misunderstand about being a creator? Okay, people see the aesthetic, they see the visibility, they see the events, they see the high life, they see all the brand collaborations, they see the glitz and the glam, but they don't always see the discipline behind it. At the end of the day, content creation is a business. It requires consistency, strategy, creativity, adaptability, and emotional resilience, because believe it or not, being a content creator really can take a toll on your emotional and mental health. And that's not even a lie. I've spoken to a lot of creators. I've been with a lot of influencers, and it really is just the pressure of always being the best, the pressure of keeping up, and competition. Competition on social media is rife. And because social media moves so quickly, creators constantly have to evolve, which is what I just basically touched on. So let's talk oversaturation and standing out, okay? The question that we got was, how do creators stand out when everyone is posting content? And it is true. This is a difficult one because we all are suffering from content fatigue. We all are inundated with content from brands, creators, nonstop, day in and day out. My answer would be to lean into individuality. The creators growing right now are the ones with strong perspective and personality. People don't follow creators just for information anymore. They follow them for identity, relatability, and emotional connection. Trying to copy someone else's formula usually delays your own growth. And this is exactly the same concept that we have to apply when we're speaking about brands as well. If you are not individual, if you are not unique, if you're not bringing a new perspective and going against convention, it's going to be very difficult to stand out in the current environment. Okay, so building a personal brand. How do we do this? A lot of people want followers, but they don't necessarily understand branding. Okay, one of the questions that we got was, what's the difference between being an influencer and building a personal brand? Okay, so influence can be temporary. A personal brand creates longevity. A personal brand is about what people associate with you when you're not in the room. That's very powerful, okay? It's your reputation, it's your positioning, it's your voice, and it's your values. Followers matter, but trust matters more, okay? Again, the same concept applies when we're talking about building your personal brand and building your business, okay? What brands are really looking for now? This, guys, is a never-ending conversation within our agency, among our creative friends. They're always asking us, what are brands looking for? Okay, so let's answer it today in this podcast. What do brands actually look for when working with creators today? Okay, my answer is that brands, or the PR agencies that work on behalf of the brands, are looking for authenticity and alignment. Those are the key main functions when it comes to choosing creators for a campaign, for an event, for an ambassadorship, whatever the case is. Okay, authenticity matters because we're building ecosystems, we're building communities, we're wanting to engage with your ecosystem and not just your followers. And alignment, because alignment is very important. When we talk about brand positioning, we talk about alignment. And if an influencer isn't effectively aligned, 9 out of 10 times, they're probably not going to be chosen. Okay. Brands are becoming more intentional with partnerships, as they have to be. There is so many creators to choose from these days. Like I said in the beginning, everybody wants to be a creator. Everybody wants to get brand campaigns. And that's making it more difficult for brands to choose creators to work with. Okay. They're looking for creators that go beyond their follower count and start paying attention to engagement. Okay, engagement is very important when it comes to creators. It is a direct pathway into understanding your ecosystem. Okay. Community trust. Do you have the trust of your community? You might have 2,000 followers and you have like 90% of their trust. Or you might have 50,000 followers and only 2% of your audience actually trust what you tell them. Do you have the ability to tell a story? So when you're posting content, are you posting content for the sake of posting content? Are you just doing a morning skincare routine for the sake of doing a morning skincare routine? Or are you actually taking the brief, taking the products, taking the service, taking the promotion, whatever the campaign is about, and are you plugging it into your authentic story and personal brand? And I think this is something that I want the creators to take into consideration when they're making the content. Okay, remember, whatever you're posting on your pages, it's you. It is your personal brand. So when it comes to accepting campaigns, brand partnerships, make sure the brand aligns to who you are as a person. If you do not drink alcohol or you don't like wine, do not accept an alcohol or wine campaign or sponsorship. That is misalignment. Okay, and that's where you lose trust with your audience. However, if you do consume wine and you do like Brutal Fruit, for example, and they do approach you for a campaign or brand partnership and you take it on, make sure that the content that you're posting fits into your life. How would you normally drink Brutal Fruit? How would you normally incorporate a wine tasting into your life? Do you have it every night after you come home from work? Do you have it on a Saturday with families? Or do you rather do it at a girls' night? You know, but whatever you do, it needs to fit into your own personal brand. And it can't just be creating content and posting content for the sake of posting content. Fourthly, brand fit. Okay. Does their brand fit into you as an influencer or a creator? Okay, which I think I've briefly touched on previously, and consistency. So it is very important that on your pages, you remain consistent. I do understand taking leave, taking a break, but then 9 out of 10 times when influencers or creators do take a break, they bulk film and they post their content, which I think is important because the algorithm is so unsteady, unpredictable. It will affect your page, it will affect your insights, but also you do want to show brands when they go to your page or the PR agencies that are recruiting for the brands that you are consistent, you are reliable, you are somebody that they can trust because you treat your page professionally. You treat your page as your personal brand. You can be relied on to post content 3 times a week. And that is important because it shows that you are consistent. It shows that you're not flaky. It shows that you're not going to accept the campaign and then the brand or the PR agency is going to have to chase you to post your content or remind you to post your content, remind you to give them a report back. So consistency is important. And this is also pointers to take into consideration if you're wanting to secure paid campaigns. We are moving into an era where not a lot of creators are going to be accepting trade exchange campaigns, and that is okay. However, you cannot want to get a paid campaign if you do not align or fit into the categories that I've already mentioned. You have to be able to treat it as a business. The minute you start taking yourself seriously, other people are going to start taking you seriously. Okay, a creator with a smaller but highly engaged audience can sometimes outperform a creator with a massive reach. Let's move into social media pressure and burnout, because I think all of us, whether you are a creator, an agency, creating content or not, a brand that's paying for content or not paying for content, it can be exhausting and make you feel like you are going into burnout. Social media can also become emotionally exhausting. So one of the questions that we got was, how do creators protect themselves from burnout? And this question, I think everybody can ask it, like, how do marketers protect themselves from going into burnout? How do agencies protect themselves from going into burnout? Okay. And that is understanding that social media is not real life. A lot of creators tie their self-worth to performance metrics, and that can become unhealthy very quickly. Creators need boundaries, offline time, rest, and a life outside of content, because sustainable success online requires sustainability offline too. And this is applicable across the board, I feel like, whether you are a creator or not. If you work in marketing, just in general, marketing as an industry, PR, social media, it can be exhausting. It can almost feel like your real life. It can almost feel like what you do at work is how you need to be in your real life. And that just simply is unsustainable. Personally, myself, I have a work life and I have a personal life now. Before, it very much used to be intermingled, and it used to be one massively fuzzled up life that I used to live. But as of recent, I would say in the last year or two, I've made a concerted effort to separate work life and personal life. Just because we work in social media, we work in PR, we're in events, we're doing this all day, every day, we're working with the creators, it can overflow into your personal life. And you can sometimes, as a founder or first employee, feel like you need to embody what you're working in. So sometimes the pressure of feeling like you too need to be a creator, you too need to be working with brands, you too need to be attending the events and being the influencer and being in the spotlight and being in front of the cameras and just being as out there as the creator community should be and has to be. But you don't really need to. I've stepped back quite significantly, and I've separated the two, and it gives me an immense amount of peace because I can come back to work with a clear mind. I have time off, I have rest time, I have offline moments. I don't have that pressure of having to share every single part of my day or making every single thing content. We're moving to a more intentional era. And I think that kind of intentional behavior needs to move into how you live your life as well. So for the creators, I think these 4 things, if you incorporate it into the way you manage your personal brand, will really give you a lot of peace and help you understand that social media is not your life and help you create sustainability when it comes to your personal brand. Okay, now we're moving into a very topical part of being a creator, and that is making money as a creator. Now, South Africa is significantly behind when it comes to these sorts of things because the platform don't offer these sorts of opportunities to the creators. The brands don't have as big budgets as the brands overseas do. And if a brand does have bigger budgets, it isn't necessarily given to one creator over a long term, or it's not executed the way it would necessarily be executed overseas, for instance. South Africa is still kind of playing catch up, but I do think we are slowly getting there. Okay. So the question that we got is that, can content creation realistically become a career? My answer is that absolutely, but creators need to think beyond brand deals. Okay, so what does this mean? The creators building long-term careers usually diversify their income through businesses, products, consulting, events, digital platforms, licensing, and speaking opportunities. The smartest creators understand they're building media brands and not just Instagram pages. Okay, so again, if you want to be in this industry, you want to be doing it full time, you need to be building something outside of your Instagram page or your TikTok page. Okay, you need to be offering advisory, other sorts of services, emceeing, as an option. I'm just giving you options right now. You need to be offering a little bit more than just posting content and followers, because you need to be selling a little bit more than just that. I would say move in the direction of becoming a personal brand, becoming a public figure, and offering a lot more than just being a content creator. Some content creators are moving into UGC, which is great, and there is a need for that. UGC is growing far past beyond creator content. Brands are wanting creators to create the content for them, and they own it and they post it on their platforms as real, organic, and authentic content. So think about your personal brand outside of your social media pages. Think about other things that you can be doing to add to your portfolio. Make it a business. Offer services, and whatever service you offer, make sure you're doing it 100% and you're giving it your everything, that people actually come towards it, resonate with, see it, love it, share it, and want a piece of it. Okay. Advice for its aspiring creators. Okay. A question that we got was, what advice would you give someone trying to grow online right now? Okay. So my answer, and I say this all the time because again, this is one of the questions that we get all the time at Mantra, on the DMs, on the emails. We even get influencers and creators wanting to have masterclasses with us and workshops just to help them grow. Because I think you're overwhelmed, number one, by everything that is happening in the industry, but also you're unsure where to go and how to definitively route your way to where you envision yourself being. Okay, so my advice would be, start before you feel ready. If you're always going to tell yourself, I'm going to start tomorrow, I'm going to wait for the perfect time, I'm going to wait for the perfect brand deal, I'm only going to do this when X, Y, and Z is aligned, you're never going to be ready. You're never going to start. It's never going to work out for you. So if you've decided that this is what you want to do, start today, get up and do it. Okay. A lot of people overthink content instead of creating consistently. So you want to be creating more than you consume. Okay. Because honestly, we consume an immense amount of content, but you need to be creating way more than what you consume. Okay. Also, don't chase virality. Don't do the memes or the trending videos, or don't do it if it doesn't feel authentic to you. Don't do it if it doesn't feel organic to you. Don't do it if it doesn't align to your strategy, to your brand, and to what you're trying to build. People can see through that and it's going to fall flat. Okay? Don't chase virality, chase clarity. That's what I wanted to say. Okay? Be clear on who you are and what you're selling and what you're wanting people to know about you and what you are here for. Okay, focus on your voice, focus on your niche. A niche is very important, even if you are a lifestyle content creator. What about lifestyle are you focusing on? Okay, and then you need to be selling that lifestyle. I always say lifestyle is very difficult because you're wanting to sell your lifestyle to people. So what is your lifestyle? Are you a varsity student? Are you an entrepreneur and business owner? Are you an athlete? Are you a makeup artist? What are you? And then you need to be selling that lifestyle. Lifestyle doesn't mean you do alcohol campaigns, beauty campaigns, fashion campaigns, restaurant campaigns, car campaigns. It doesn't mean that. That just means you don't know what your niche really is. Okay? And you need to be focusing on your community. Building a community is so important. It's not just about posting content. When people comment on your video, comment back. When people ask questions, answer them back. Do Q&As, do lives, meet your audience. Like, be open to creating community, okay? And again, consistency. Focus on being consistent. Whatever it is that you decide to set as your schedule on a weekly basis, stick to that. That will take you far. Consistency looks different to everybody, but as long as you're doing it continuously, it really does pay off in the long run. And just remember that growth takes time and trust compounds. Okay, now I want to go into a rapid fire, and our rapid fire again is just other questions that have come through on our DMs, on our emails over the last couple of months that I thought I would just quickly answer on this episode. So, one mistake new creators make. I think that one mistake new creators make is trying to copy creators instead of learning from them. Now, in my years of working with influencers and creators, I've seen it all. I've seen influencers getting really angry and going public about another creator copying their content or copying their style of content, and just don't do it. You not only do you create a bad name for yourself, tarnish relationships, but also you don't come across as authentic. That just shows that you don't know who you are. So if you find yourself in that situation, maybe it's time that you take a step back, reassess, re-strategize, and come back when you know what it is that you want to be. And when you know that, it will make you less likely to copy other creators because you know where you're going. Okay? One thing creators should stop obsessing over. I personally think this is your follower count. Okay? Followers will come, followers will go, but that cannot be the begin and end all of your personal brand. Okay, the better you are, the more consistent you are, the more your followers will grow. And that should be a bonus and an add-on to building your personal brand. Okay. One thing brands wish creators understood. This I don't need to think about too much, and that is professionalism. Professionalism matters, guys. Just because you are a creator, just because you're an influencer, perhaps this is your first gig as a job or a main hustle, whatever the case is, professionalism matters, and it takes you far, far, far. And when I say professionalism, I don't mean wearing a suit. Professionalism is in everything that you do. It's how you act, it's how you speak, it's how you carry yourself out, it's how you engage with others, whether they are your colleagues, whether they are clients, whether they are other brands. Professionalism matters. Have an email address that works, have a signature, have contact details that work. Always respond. When you respond professionally. Have all your personal brand details in order, have your costings, have an updated rate card, know who you are, know what you stand for. And if you are going to align yourself to a talent management agency, make sure that those people that are managing your personal brand understand who you are and understand that what you expect from them when it comes to responding. They can't take 24 to 48 to 72 hours to respond to an email. Emails need to be responded to every single day. If an inquiry comes through, it needs to be responded to. If there are DMs, whatever the case is, everything that you do, it needs to be professional. I personally demand that from influencers and creators as well. If your communication is just simply not professional, we don't work with you, because it not only tarnishes our name, but it also tarnishes our relationship with our clients and the brand's image as well by working with you. So, and this also applies to post-campaign reports. We often ask if you're on a trade exchange, you just send us screenshots of your insights because it is a trade exchange. However, I do believe that that needs to change. Influencers and creators need to be putting together professionally crafted post-campaign reports, whether it is a campaign or whether it is just one post. You need to be sending a report back to the brand or the PR agency. It has to be professionally presented because, again, if you take yourself seriously, other people will start taking you seriously. Okay? And the last question in the rapid fire. One thing every creator needs to succeed. And this is consistency. Again, consistency looks different for everybody, but the more you do it, the better at it you get, and the longer it lasts for you in the long run. Okay, that brings us to the end of episode 2 of season 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I would love us to have a wider conversation about the topics covered in this episode. So if you have any feedback, if you have any additional questions, or if you simply just want to comment, please do so. DM us, email us. Our email address is podcast@mantrapublicity.co.za. You can also DM us on our Mantra After Hours podcast Instagram page. And you also can comment. If you're watching on YouTube, pop a comment down below. Okay. I just want to leave you guys with this. I think it's important to remember that social media rewards authenticity far more than perfection. The creators who last are usually the ones who stay adaptable, intentional, and true to themselves. And whether you're building a business, a platform, or a personal brand, remember this. Your audience connects to people before they connect to content. Thank you for listening to Mantra After Hours. We will see you next time after hours. Bye.